Sugar Juice. It's your boy, Smoke Screenless Pride.
Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. We gonna pull off the Jesus hat, put it to the side, and BAM! Okay, first things first. These are my pickups from Joefest, and yeah, leather neck for 25. Leather neck for 25. And I wasn't even planning on even getting this figure, but since they had Falcon and Coral for, check it, 35. That's right, fam. I got it for 35, and I had to ask the guy to make certain. I was like, what number is this? Is this a 3 or is it a 5? Because it looked kind of like it looked like a 3, but then it kind of looked like a 5. And the guy clarified. He's like, no, it's 35. He said the reason was because he was trying to get it out of the rain, and then, you know, the box got kind of messed up. So he said he didn't think it was right for the price, so he got it for 35. Couldn't believe it, fam. So since it was that, I grabbed it, and I was looking for a Invisible Woman that had this suit on to go with the Fantastic Four that I have. I have one, but she had a different suit, and so I grabbed her. Anyway, now let's get down. One more thing. This year at the Joefest, I will say that a lot of the vendors' prices were a lot more reasonable. The past years I've been to, they were crazy, but this year, they were a lot more reasonable. There were some other figures that I would have grabbed, but for one, they either weren't there because the vendor said they didn't arrive until after he left, and the others, they were on pre-orders, so I couldn't get them. But all in all, the Joefest was pretty straight. I always get the early entrance, so I get there. I got an hour early to look at things and, you know, run into some people that I had, well, vendors and whatnot that I seen last year, the years prior. So it was cool. I like going in early, and that gave me the opportunity to do what I'm about to talk about, fam. I got to interview Brian Flynn. Now, it's not, from time to time you're going to hear the announcer saying stuff over the big intercom in Joefest. I think it was only like twice. So with that being said, fam, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Now, I had a list of questions that I have been going over and that I had talked to a couple people about that I specifically wanted to get answered because they weren't getting answered, or the people that were asking Brian Flynn questions, they weren't asking the questions that I wanted. So I purposely went to the Joefest to look for him because I saw him last year and we talked a little bit last year, and I had questions. So I will say this about Brian Flynn. He didn't shy away from any question I asked. And I'm not a shield, fam. Y'all know I don't have a lot of subscribers like that. And, you know, I've been talking about certain things for a minute. Now, I'm not against SUPER7. Let me get that straight. I'm not against SUPER7. I like the brand. I want them to win. Are they perfect? No. But they do give me things that I want that no one else is doing. I wish some things were different. But I will say this, the interview that I did was longer than what you're going to get. The issue that happened is, while we were discussing, Brian Flynn and I were discussing Chitara, right? Because it starts to talk about Chitara, then it gets cut off. This is what was said in regards to Chitara. I asked him why the Chitara that we got is different than the Chitara that they show on the promos, and he was like, what are you talking about? They're the same, right? Again, I wish I had it going, but I stopped the phone to like show him on the I stopped the phone to show him the the images that's being shown and doing the comparisons, right? Then I started back up. However, in coming back and trying to get things situated, I accidentally erased that part because I had to start the phone back up. Okay, so like about half of the interview is gone, and I am irritated about that, fam. I really am sorry, but I'm going to answer what he said to the best of my abilities, okay? And I didn't realize this. Well, I realized this yesterday when I was, trying to get stuff situated, and that happened. So believe me, I'm pissed about that. Anyway, so with Cheetara, I said, why is it that the promo shots are different than the Cheetara we got? And he was like, no, it's the same, I promise you. So I pulled up the image of Cheetara that we get from the promo shots, and then I pulled up the image of the Cheetara that we got. And I was like, see right here, where this Cheetara appears to be more curvier than this one. I was trying to understand why does it look different. And so I was zooming in, and he was looking, and I was looking. He was like, no, see what it is that the way the light is hitting her in this area, going to the side of Cheetara where the curve, where it appears to be more curves going in. He said that is due to the light. He says, I promise you that we took the same mode and we used them for all of them. We didn't change her. He said, now what has happened is a lot of guys have been complaining about the thigh gap for Cheetara, and he gave me a look as if like to say, this kind of suspect and pervy. You know what I'm saying? He said because no guy has complained to him about the thigh gap for any of the men, and he said so. What they did was they shaved the portion. He said, now we did tweak this. They did shave the portion in regards to the thigh gap to make her stand up straighter. They said because the version that they showed the promo, she's standing more like in a superhero stance, as if they have their arms on. Back in the day, they would stand with their arms on their hips and their fists clenched, and they're like dun da da da, stand like that. And so that was preventing her from standing with her legs closer. So they said they did tweak that aspect, but the mold and everything's the same. He said again, it was the way that Cheetara is standing. So that was that part right there, fam. Now I couldn't have like a interview like other people who actually have interviews set up with Brian Flynn, due to the fact that we're at Joefest. Even though I was early, other people had the early access as well, and people were coming up and had questions for Brian Flynn about different things as well, and one had questions about purchasing some stuff and if this is available and whatnot. And I wasn't trying to be a a-hole. You see what I'm saying? I wanted people to be able to have their time and stuff like that, but I still want to get some questions answered. Again, I'm going to try and see, fam, and it was just so much that was going on at that time, to see if it's possible if I can email him and maybe he and I can have a interview where it can be more professional, so to speak. So I'm gonna try and see if I can do that. Again, this was on Saturday when I talked to him, but here is the parts of the interview that I got in regards to talking to Brian Flynn. Now, I didn't want to have the camera I didn't want to just have holding the camera right in his face while I'm talking to him, where you can see him back and forth. So I'm going to have an image up of Brian Flynn, of him talking, and I might just have it where I'm showing, I think instead I might have just show some images of Joefest while he's talking. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it, fam. I'm going to edit this out. But that's why you're not going to see the actual video of him talking. But this was at Joefest. And yeah, fam, tell me what you think about the questions I'm about to have with him. Tell me what you think about the interview. This was again, not like a professional interview. This is something like on the spot, and he did not shy away from any of my questions, fam. I will say this: he did not shy away from any of my questions. Every question I asked, he asked, and he was like, what else you got? You got more? And again, I had more stuff, but I didn't want to try to be a a-hole fan because more people were coming, people were standing around. I know some of you might be like, man, I would just stand there and ask all the questions I need to ask and this and that. There's a time and a place for everything, fam, and sometimes if you get the main things you want answered, you can always come back around and hopefully get another chance at it. It is what it is, but I got the main stuff I want to answer, and I'm gonna let y'all hear that part. I really wish I could have got all of it, so that y'all could have y'all could have heard everything that he said. I understand more of why he does what he does. I don't necessarily agree with all of it. I understood, but it gave me a better understanding of his mindset and his company's mindset. And hey, tell me what you think, fam. Here we go. So I got a lot of people that got a lot of questions, right?
Okay.
So
let's do the questions.
all right. So we want Thundercats to win, right?
What?
We want Thundercats to win. We want Thundercats to win. We want that to be the best line possible.
It's one of the best lines we have by far. That's why we're on.
Attention, Joefest attendees and guests.
People are
We
wondering
have the
if they're going to get the same treatment as the Ninja Turtles that just came out, because they feel like
collegiate legends have been moved to the
the
main
aesthetics is
vendor
great,
floor.
right? Because you love aesthetics,
on the
and we like
second floor. We are
aesthetics.
now on the first
But
floor.
half of people who buy cats, they want the posing, like they want to do stop motion, and they want to do pictures and stuff like that, but they can't because they're lacking some of the posability, and they feel that everyone else has came up, all the different brands from the 80s, but the cats are still kind of behind.
It's not so much that they're behind. It's a distinct choice. The thing more now is you've got 12 waves of Thundercats that all are the same.
Mm-hmm.
If I change them now, they don't match.
Got it.
And so there's this catch-22, which is if I put a double-jointed elbow or a double-jointed knee on wave 13, and then you put it on you're like, this doesn't match with the 60 other figures I have.
Right.
So it's sort of a catch-22. I'm not opposed to it. It's just been more as we've discussed it more and more. It's like these things, like if you're this far down the line and it'd be like if I all of a sudden changed like all the logos on the packaging. You'd be like, why are you changing the logos on the package? Like,
right.
Everything matches. So we've gone back and forth a lot on it.
So here's the thing that a lot of other people have been saying, right? They understand how the line is, right? They only want, and myself included, we only want the cats to be double jointed. Because the mutants and all the other ones and all the villains, we don't expect them to be posable like that. Right? The way they are now is fine for them. But people want the Thundercats themselves because they're acrobatic and they want to do the poses like on the back of the box, right? Lionel holding the sword, he doing like a half split. You can't do that. Like the new one is great and it's been upgraded from where it was when it's not pinless and it looks more like a cartoon, which is what a lot of people want. Yeah. But you can't get those certain poses, and so like it kind of has people a little upset.
Well, I think you get in this thing too where it's like maybe we give you that thing and all of a sudden you can get that pose, but if all you see is joints, it's a little good. It's not that I'm trying not to. I think there are some people that feel that way, but there's a lot of people that are like, I don't care. And I'm not trying to dismiss one side or the other. I think for where we're at right now, and we talk about the upgraded one, like that one was specifically retooled for the lights and all the other stuff.
Right.
So, I think, you're in a catch-22 because then when we get into deluxe, part of the reason to get it down to price point is using some of the same tooling and everything. And So people are like, but they didn't change it. And I'm like, well, it's not for you. It's for that guy over there.
Who didn't get it before.
Who didn't get it there, and we need to make it more affordable. But, you know,
And so
I think it's at some point we'll be talking about it. We talk about it a lot with the extension of the line. Like we just went back and forth on a lot of things that we were going on about the next waves and whether or not they need to be double jointed or not. So I don't have a great answer for you today.
So here's another thing. So like on Bengali, this is what I don't understand. Right?
Okay.
I thought Bengali was going to be the change because when you look at the back of his legs, right, he has a deeper bend than what Tiger has.
Okay.
Like his leg can go up more, and his posability is way better than Tiger. It's actually better than Lionel's posability, the new line.
Okay.
So I thought that was the direction y'all were going to go, but y'all didn't. It's still kind of tight like that. So are y'all open to making deeper bends, even if y'all had them single, right?
Yeah.
But y'all had a deeper bend to where when it goes up like this, it's not hitting because the Tiger goes like right here, Bengali goes like way up there like that, and that gives a better
range of motion. Yeah.
Right. So are y'all against doing that if y'all don't do the double?
No, I mean, all of it's gonna kind of we gotta kind of sort it all out at some point. So I hear you. You're not the only one.
Okay.
And it's not like it's like coming backwards. It's not like we couldn't do it if we wanted to. It's been more of a point of view of like, if you collect, most of the guys that collect Thundercats from us also collected Masters from us.
Right.
And here's this, and the Silverhawks, and it's all, and when you put them next to each other, they all match perfectly.
Gotcha.
Rather than like, you got these lines and then they don't match. That drives me crazy. I don't know about you. Maybe it doesn't bother you.
Okay.
But it drives me crazy when they don't match. And so we've been keeping it consistent for that reason. But I think you'll see more double jointed across the board, but not necessarily right away on that line, simply because we're so deep in it.
Gotcha. So there's a possibility later on once you flesh out some more.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to
make people feel like it doesn't look.
Well, and then if the moment I do it now, everybody be like, see, he made us buy this one so he could make that one and make us buy it twice. And I'm like, no, that's not what we're trying to do either. So
one of those sticky things. But and I get it. But there's just so many of us that's like, if you just do, like, because people all have, like, say people don't want the double joints, right? Then they have the cats that's single.
Yeah.
But because most people don't care, they just want the cats to be double jointed. Okay. So they're like, if you do that, you can continue doing the rest of them exactly how you want, but just give us the cats so we can pose them the way you want. Because like say you watch a Big Bad commercial, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's stuff is, not everyone's, but a lot of different lines are on there, but the cats ain't on there. You don't get to see them because I know it's possible, but some of the movements are not like the others because they're not double.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are like, you want the double joint. So, because the line is great. We love it that you got us so far. Lair, tank, everything, all the stuff, all the figures that we never had from early in looks great. So we just, it's like,
attention Joefest attendees, guests and vendors, we have a section for vendors upstairs. Just use the stairs to the right and left to go upstairs to our second floor vendors. Thank you, have a great day.
But just that.
Right. Okay. I got you.
Okay. Guitar, right, that y'all showed at San Diego Comic-Con, right, is way different than the one that we got. She looks totally different.
I don't know about that.
Oh, totally different. Because I took because it was next. She was next to Sly and Java. She looks nothing like either one that we came with. The face sculpt was different. The body sculpt was totally different.
See, it would be impossible for that to be true because it's all based off the same file. Like, there's no way for me to output something that doesn't match.
I'm almost finished.
That's right.
So, Panther, right?
Yes.
Because you had said we want more Thundercats. You had said on his video, I will say there's a real interesting thing we're working on with Panthro. When Panthro comes back around, you're going to see modified Panther, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So, Is Panther modification going to be like similar to Lionel or
Yes.
totally different?
Similar to life.
Similar to Lionel. Okay. And is it that we haven't seen a playset this year because y'all getting it together for next year?
No, it's more that playsets are a fuckload of work.
Gotcha.
They're huge, they're expensive, they're take forever.
Okay.
And there's only so many people can have.
Right.
You know? And I kind of feel like we walked to the edge of the cliff of acceptability with Cat's Lair. Like, if this is the edge, we looked over and went any further, and this is just too far.
Okay.
And so it's like, you know, we've done the Thunder Tank, done Cat's Lair. Previously, we did Snake Mountain. It's like, why don't we just take a little breather for some playsets for a little while?
All right.
You
Understandable. So, from the last time we talked last year, is Mumra's Pyramid still on the table at some point?
At some point, yes. At some
Gotcha.
point.
Okay.
Not right, like, we just got people Cat's Lairs earlier
Right.
this year. There's still some replacement parts I got to get people for, especially for the guns and everything. So it's like, you got to let all that settle, let everybody, and then do you have room for another playset?
Got it. Okay. All right. I think that's it for right now. I'll double check with some other people, see if there's anything else. But I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Of course. Thank you for supporting the Thundercats line.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.